Chuyển sang mục Việt Nam góc nhìn của bạn. Thưa quý vị, vừa qua Ngày hội tư vấn du học Úc do IDP Việt Nam tổ chức đã diễn ra tại Hà Nội. Chương trình có sự góp mặt của 50 trường đại học của Úc. Đây là cơ hội để các bạn học sinh và phụ huynh gặp gỡ trực tiếp đại diện của các trường đại học của Úc để được giải đáp những thắc mắc và lắng nghe câu chuyện thành công của các cựu du học sinh Việt Nam. Nhân dịp này, chúng tôi đã có cuộc trò chuyện với ông Jason Sue, Giám đốc phát triển quốc tế của Đại học Trobe, Australia. Mời quý vị và các bạn cùng theo dõi.
Mr. Jason Sue, International Development Manager of La Trobe University, Australia. He has come to Vietnam many times for his business trips. This time, he came back to work as a representative of La Trobe University in Study in Australia Education exhibition organized by IDP Vietnam. He loves Vietnamese architecture and food. Hello and welcome to Showing Vietnam, a 50-minute talk show of VTC 10. The guest of our talk show today will be the representative from La Trobe University, Mr. Jason Sue. Let's say hello to him. Hello, Mr. Jason Sue, and thank you for joining our talk show today.
That's my pleasure.
Mr. Jason, so you have been working in Asian countries. What do you think about our country in comparison with other Asian countries? What do you like the most about Vietnam?
I think Vietnam is a beautiful country. They are very different with other countries in terms of the architecture, especially Hanoi. And personally, I like Vietnamese food a lot. And even when I was in Melbourne, I always go to eat Vietnamese food every week or every weekend, and because the food is keep very fresh. And I also like Vietnamese people. They're quite direct person, and they will be tell you what they think or what they don't like. Unlike some of other countries, sometimes it's very hard to read the people what they think about it. And I also have to say, Vietnamese is very hard-working people. And we have a lot of Vietnamese students that study at La Trobe University, and some of students they have received a Best of Student award in the class. So which means like they are even doing better than comparing with local Australian students. And also another thing I find that like Vietnamese people is quite relaxed. In the way sometimes when you see when you walk on the street, and you see some people chatting on the street and they sitting there have the tea. So that's all the things I like of the country.
So Mr. Jason, so can you spend a few minutes to share with us about your work, your current work at this moment, and your trip to Vietnam this time? What did you do at the Study in Australian exhibition?
Yep. I'm working for La Trobe University as International Development Manager. Especially, I focus on the region for Southeast Asian countries. So there are 11 countries in the Southeast Asia at the moment. So what I try to do is I try to build the link from La Trobe University in Australia and with the local institutions. And also we try to help the international student from the international student from all the Southeast Asian countries to give them a chance to study in Australia. So this trip come to Vietnam is to join the IDP study in Australia education exhibition. So I will meet many students and their parents and to let them understand what's the course they probably available to them and what's the career opportunity for them after their study And I'm very passionate to meet all those students because as I mentioned, the Vietnamese people were very nice and they are very keen to receive like a overseas qualification. They really want to access the international education. So I'm very glad I'm the one of the person to help them.
Thank you, Mr. Jason, for the very first sharing today. And why don't we spend a few minutes to have a look at the Study in Australia exhibition organized by IDP in Vietnam. Study in Australia Education exhibition was organized by IDP Vietnam on July the 22nd in Hanoi. The representatives of 50 Australia universities joined this event to provide consultation directly for students and parents on available courses for graduates and postgraduates, as well as tuition fees and scholarships. This event gave Vietnamese students a specific look of one of the most leading education systems in the world. Changes in visa policy of Australian government was also mentioned in this exhibition.
Hello everyone and welcome back. We have here the representative from Trobe University, Australia, Mr. Jason. So in Vietnam, there are a lot of different consultant events organized by different universities all around the world, including US, UK, New Zealand, Singapore, etc. So what have Australian university such as yours university in particular done in order to be more competitive?
I think we're still quite competitive compared with many of other countries, and because Australia is well known in Vietnam, and many people probably have a relative or somehow they know something about Australia already. We are not far away, and the time not too much difference. And Australia also people being are very friendly. It's very well known in the world. I think people will be still consider Australia as a safe country to study there. And Australia also provides a lot of opportunity for international students. For example, when you study, you can work in 40 hours per fortnight, and also during the semester break, you can working there for full time. So they give lots of student opportunity to have experience. It's not just study Australia. At the same time, they can doing some part-time job to understand how the business operating in Australia, and also give them some of earning to support themselves to study in Australia. And also on completion of their study, if they study there for 2 years, a student also have a chance to work in Australia for further. So I think we are not only provide the education, we provide the best experience for students in overseas, include the lifestyle, include the education, and include the working experience.
Mr. Jason, so one of the most concerns especially for the parents when they let their children study abroad is the tuition fees and the cost of living. So how have Australian university in general and your university in particular solved this matter?
I admit the study in Australia is not a cheap option to compare with some of the countries such as Singapore or China. Is more closer to Vietnam, and also the living cost is much cheaper. As I just mentioned, the students have a chance to do some part-time job, so that definitely will be help them to support them living cost in Australia. I remember last year when I come here, I met one student, and she's used to working for NGO company in Vietnam, and she received a full scholarship to do the PhD at the Trobe University for 4 years. And for the undergraduate and the postgraduate, we sometimes cannot offering the full scholarship, but we will try to offering some partial scholarship. For example, we offering 10,000 or 20,000 Australian dollar in term to help the student tuition fee. So the living help is generally student can find a part-time job, help themselves, and we will try our best to maintain the lower of the tuition fee for international students, especially from Vietnam, and plus the scholarship.
Thank you, Mr. Jason. And let's have a look at our interviews with the Vietnamese students and parents at the university exhibition in Vietnam.
Em thấy tương đối hài lòng với những thông tin mà các trường đại học bên Úc đưa ra, bởi vì là họ cũng đã giới thiệu cho mình rất là chi tiết về tất cả các thứ như là các hoạt động ngoại khóa, các chương trình học như thế nào, các chi phí cần thiết và những cái cách thức để mình có thể xin được học bổng như thế nào.
Môi trường học tập của nước ngoài rất quan trọng với những thành tích học tập xã hội, cũng như là cái sự giao lưu văn hóa, sự hòa nhập văn hóa của một học sinh. Và chính điều đó sẽ phản ánh được xem là cái tố chất của một người học sinh đấy là như thế nào.
Nói chung là chọn cho con đi học ở nước ngoài thì tiêu chí thì đầu tiên là ngôi trường nó thân thiện này, an toàn này, và là cũng phù hợp với tài chính của gia đình.
Chương trình học của Úc thì đối với du học sinh Việt Nam không có nặng, nhưng mà chương trình học rất là đòi hỏi sinh viên có sự sáng tạo và tư duy trong các bài tập, cũng giống như là các đề kiểm tra của trường. Nói chung chi phí sinh hoạt của Úc thì khá là thoáng so với các nước khác giống như là Mỹ hay là Canada hay là Anh.
Welcome back with Sharing Vietnam. Mr. Jason, so majoring in banking and finance is becoming a hot trend for Vietnamese students. How has your new university grasped this psychological factor? What do you think about the job opportunity and competitiveness of Vietnamese students when they come back to Vietnam after spending some years in your country?
Banking finance is a big industry in Australia, and a little bit background about the finance. Say, for example, 5% of Australia population are working in the finance industry. And personally, I even have my financial planner, and I think the assistant of my financial planner and he's Vietnamese. So a lot of Vietnamese, they do like the study banking and finance, especially they choose Trobe University, choose Australia. I remember this banking in the world ranking is called Triple or L2A, but 4 of Australia banking is ranking very, very high in the world for their banking system. That's why when last time GFC and Australia doesn't have any problem. And we are the first of a university being recognized curriculum designed with the CFA. So many of Vietnamese students already starting to do the CFA level 1 exam. CFA is a Chartered Financial Analysis, it's based in American. So if you receive a CFA qualification level 1 or level 2, the student salary will be very, very high.
We can say that besides the major and the fees, social activity, support activities to have international students to get accustomed to the new environment, as well as opportunities for part-time job, scholarship and internship are among main concerns to the Vietnamese students. So how has your university dealt with this?
Australia generally is open the opportunity to many of Vietnamese or to many of international students, but sometimes international students put themselves in a barrier. They say, oh, they don't want to be really communicate or to be friends or to work in the Australia company. They thought, okay, they are a bit shy, or sometimes because they think the language is a barrier. But in generally, Australia say, oh, if you can communicate with them, if you can chatting with them, they don't care about where you came from, what's your language, as long as they can understand you, which is fine. So I guess we are open to the many opportunity for the student. So students needed to put themselves into the Australia lifestyle. So they will be give a student lots of opportunity to provide them for the future of the lifestyle of their future career.
Apart from student, graduate student and postgraduate student, a lot of high school, even the secondary school student of Vietnam would love to spend some years in other countries to further their study. So has your university noticed the needs of this customer?
The number is started increasing for the student to go overseas at the early age, and they can start to come to study the high school, because La Trobe, we do recognize a Vietnamese high school student. If they pass certain GPA, they can directly study at the La Trobe University. Many parents realize that they needed to invest their kids' education at early stage. Because when you are coming at after you study a bachelor degree, maybe for example, you have been teaching the way by the Vietnamese university way to teach, but Australia is quite different. So sometimes the parents do want their children to access international education at the early age. So now I do see many of the Vietnamese parents, and they come to ask me about the high school study in Australia, or maybe they just finished high school year 11, year 12. They want to go to Australia study as early as possible.
Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Jason Sui, for spending time to share with us your idea. Thank you so much, and hope your university and all other university of Australia and greater success in Vietnam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's wrap up our story today, and I hope that you enjoy it as I did. Thank you so much, and send us an email at sharingvietnam@gmail.com if you have question or recommendation.